What is up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. I have my very special co-host today. Her name is Heather C. She is a big Family Chantel fan. Actually, her favorite couple from the 90 Day Fiancé universe is Pedro and Chantel. So who else to have as a guest host today than a big, huge fan of the actual couple themselves? Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited about this one.
Let's talk about what happened on episode 9, guys, of the Family Chantel. We're on season 3. We're 9 episodes in.
It goes by so fast.
I can't believe how far into the season we are in.
Same.
The Dominican Republic trip is finally happening. It's another Family Chantel trip in the Dominican Republic. Let's start off first by saying this week we didn't see any of the lovebirds, Megan and River.
We did see
River
them online.
Right, we did see River and Megan have a date night this past weekend, and things are going strong, and I'm happy for the both of you. I'm super happy, but we did not get to see you guys on the show. We did see a preview for next week that there might be a little trouble in paradise, but I'm assuming things are going to work out just fine. So let's talk about what we did see last night.
Okay.
So fresh off of the breakup, Winter and the family had a ceremonial burning of the things that Ja had given her. And at some point, Ja was writing letters and he was sending her things to try to get her back. And apparently this had been going on for the whole 7 years they were together. He would make a mistake, she would want to leave, and then he would write letters. So they had a ceremonial burning of the information and letters and cards and all of the things that he did to try to correct his behavior, which I think is a good thing. When you're moving on with someone, from someone, you want to get rid of all of those feelings and those extra things that they brought into your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that love is difficult. You know, it's like you can't sit there and be like, well, why would she do this and why would she do that? It's complicated, and that's what makes it love, you know? And they have something ultimately that brought them together for that many years, you know? And I know that she loved playing the stepmom role to his daughter and everything. And, you know, there was a lot that kept her coming back. It was complicated. I do applaud Karen, though, for her ceremony, because it really was. It was freeing. It's kind of like with every piece that's a part of you that you're kind of like stripping off, like layers. And I think that that's a really good healing mechanism. And I love that the whole family came out there and supported.
Absolutely.
So she had her sister, she had her brother, she had her mom, she had her dad, they had a good glass of wine. And you know what? They made it happen. And that's what you need in these tough times. You need your family there to help you.
Absolutely. The support is amazing. And what other good way to get over someone is a girls' trip to the Dominican Republic, which was Chantel's idea, which is an amazing idea. She invited Winter, and Karen volunteered her services to be a part of the bitchinistas. They're going to be the baddest bitches on the beach. And I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the girls' trip. We have never really seen them take a trip together, just the girls. It's always been the family, and they've been to Manila, and they've been to all these different places, but just the girls. And we do know that Nicole is waiting in the Dominican Republic, angry, and saying that if she does see Chantel, there will be a problem. So we're hoping that they don't see each other, but we're also hoping that they do.
See, they make good TV. Let's not forget their one run-in where she had to set Nicole straight on that one. You know, I hate that ultimately the two families can't see eye to eye. You know, I mean, you're always going to have somebody that has some type of issue with somebody. I mean, that's the whole point of like in-laws. But I don't know, like, I think we're so far into this where we can't be like, oh, maybe one day, but maybe one day they might see eye to eye, but let's just hope that there won't be a lot of blood being shed, you know, on this girl's trip, you know, and to be just there to support Pedro in his time that he needs.
Yeah, speaking of that, so in the Dominican Republic, they left the campo, and there was some pretty intense conversations that they had last week on the show.
Yeah.
And they are never going to see eye to eye. Lydia and Nicole don't see eye to eye with the situation of Pedro wanting to find his father. And we don't know exactly why. Lydia has told us how the situation played out, how he had another family, how he didn't really tell her at first. And we just feel like the support that he wants from his mother, he's not getting, and he had to call Chantel and bring Chantel out for that emotional support.
That's what your spouse is for.
And that's exactly what Chantel did. She's going to be there. She said she's not going to be there with any type of interactions with his family. She's merely there to be there for her husband in his time of emotional need. And he's very emotional. And as you can see, the situation and conversation that had with his grandmother and just finding out things about his family that he didn't know. It's a very emotional time. So I'm really glad to see Chantel out in the DR, supporting her husband and being there, because we know next week there will be a meeting between his brothers that he has never met. One of the brothers who actually shares the exact same name as he does.
Crazy.
This is going to be a very intense episode, very crazy. And we wish Pedro the best, and I hope this goes exactly.
I do. And I feel so bad because I know he has such a close relationship with his mom and his sister. So this has to be really difficult for him because, I mean, just like any person would want, is answers. Everybody wants to know where they came from. Everybody wants to know, mom, dad, what are my ancestors? What is my bloodline? That is something normal. He's not asking for too much. Now, this might be painful for Lydia to bring up, old memories. And maybe Pedro could have came at her a little different, but that's a lot of emotion. That's a lot of built up emotion. And she's not understanding why he wants to know. And he's not understanding maybe the pain that she had. So that's the tough part for me is watching this, is that, they're not getting along really this season, especially him and his sister.
They were such a close family. So it really, it bothers me that Pedro's mom feels disrespected. And actually Nicole also feels that Pedro's mom is being disrespected when he's just fishing for information. He wants information and he wants to piece together his life story. Just like anybody would. Yeah. And another huge thing that we learned last night is Nicole informed us that Alejandro informed Nicole that he is now divorced. He is not a married man. And that is good news because Nicole has been fighting her family since the beginning. And the only real problem they have with Alejandro was the fact that he was married. But
then he got disrespectful though. Because how do you come back from this? All his run-ins that he had with Pedro was so disrespectful.
Well,
how do you come back from that?
He does not like Pedro, and he's made that very clear.
Well, he ain't going nowhere. That's his sister.
And yeah, it's going to be very difficult to marry Nicole if that's the goal, if you cannot stand Pedro.
Has some seats missing at the wedding.
Cannot stand Lydia. So maybe this information will actually help mend the situation between everyone and Alejandro. Again, he would need to apologize to Pedro for the remarks that he made in Brooklyn that led to that fight on the street, and that might actually be it. So we're hoping that this is working out good for Nicole. Nicole's in a good place. He has taken responsibility for his actions of talking to those girls online, and their relationship seems to be in a good place. So let's talk about what's going to happen next week. So we saw a scene with Megan talking with her friends, referring to River. She's disappointed that he did not tell his family about her son. So we're going to have to see how that plays out.
I know, and I can't wait because I really like Megan. I do. And I feel like we don't get enough of her on the show where we get to see her as a person. I mean, she has a whole music career. She has a whole background other than just being somebody's
She's not just a model. She's an artist. She's in the military. She does so much. She's a mother. And we're not seeing that on the show. And it seems like we're not getting enough of a picture of who she is. So hopefully we're going to get that next week.
Yeah.
And we're also going to get a meeting between Lydia, Chantel, and Pedro next week as well. So I hope you guys are ready. All right, that's it for the Family Chantel Podcast, Season 3, Episode 9. I'm George Mossey, your host. And again, special thanks to my co-host today, Heather C., who is a huge fan of the show. Thank you so much for joining and supporting this podcast, guys. And make sure you're live tweeting the show with us. I will be live tweeting tonight. I watched it early, but I'm going to watch it again. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys real soon.
Bye.